God, my forehead looks huge.
I know, bro. All right, what up, Vince? We are here on Zoom because apparently Zoom is just better than Skype. Since there's no sports going on, there's really nothing going on except for just press conferences every day. And we decided that we're going to do the 10 worst KU losses of the tournament.
I think there's a lot, and then there's even more than you think.
I didn't actually make a list version. I kind of just tiered it. How do you want to start? Do you have a list version or something?
In concrete, but if you ask me like what my 10th worst one is, I could tell you, I guess.
All right, let's start with honorable mentions first. Give me what you
want to do honorable mentions first? Okay. First, I put the national title loss to Kentucky. I don't know if you –
That actually didn't make my honorable mentions. What you going to do? You lost to Anthony freaking Davis, like the best college player that we've seen like in our lifetime. Yeah. And I think you drove from Pittsburgh to Lawrence.
Yeah, we watched it at the field house. We weren't even old enough to like go to bars or anything like that either. Lost and drove back. I don't know if you remember, but in 2007, we lost to UCLA in the Elite Eight.
I do remember that.
We won it all. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, Aaron Aflalo. That was a good UCLA team.
Some of these, like they like their Elite Eight losses, like we're complaining about that.
Yeah. Some Elite Eight losses hurt worse than others.
Give me your 10.
My number 10 is losing the national title game to Syracuse in 2003.
Ooh.
Because that was my first real KU disappointment.
Yeah, it was 2002, correct?
2003, actually.
3.
2002, we lost to Maryland or something like that.
Yeah, that one's actually on my list. But the Syracuse one didn't make mine because my number 10 is actually the Maryland loss. Juan Dixon put up 33 points. You know who else is on that team? Former Laker, White, Steve Blake.
Vucevic? Oh.
It wasn't even close at the end. They put up 97 on us. I actually cried. My dad yelled at me for crying.
I don't know if I cried for 2003, but my brother certainly did. We were at a hotel. Like all our parents were like getting drunk with other parents because that was like basically my entire childhood. But we lost it. My brother was like locked himself in the bathroom, like wouldn't come back.
What a loser!
So that's why I put it so low because we got to all the way to the top game. We lost to one of the greatest college players to ever play, Carmelo Anthony.
What's your number 9 there?
9 is 2015 versus Wichita State.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I had that a little bit higher just because losing to Wichita. Wayne Selden. In 23 minutes, he had 0 points.
0?
1 rebound, 0 assists.
Oh, my. So I guess my number 8 would be that Bradley game just because I don't really remember it very well. But we were a 4 seed. That was the year after all of our boys left. It was kind of an unfamiliar team.
It's like history is like a race on this game. There's only 47 seconds of Marcellus Somerville, which is a dope name. So we had a freshman, Julian Wright, a sophomore, Sasha Khan, a freshman, Brandon Rush, sophomore, Russell Robinson, and a freshman, Mario Chalmers. So these dudes would all go on to win the title.
Yeah.
Except for Julian Wright, poor guy. It was pretty bad. All right, give me a number 7.
17 versus Oregon.
That one was bad because it was an Elite Eight game.
I just remember we were down by 10 the whole game. We just couldn't get into it.
It was Lucas, Mason, McPhee, Devontae Graham, and Josh Jackson were the starters.
Yeah.
Dwight Colby, I think is his actual name. He played 4 minutes, but besides that, it was just Vic and the rest of the team. So it was 6 guys that played.
Another fact about the season, this doesn't really have to do with the tournament, but we had a 51-game home winning streak.
Ooh.
Before Iowa State beat us. So.
Did you go to that game?
No. Shut up. No. I told you I'm 1-2 now.
They did have Jordan Bell and Dylan Brooks. Number 6.
I have 2018 versus Villanova. I know it was the Final Four, but the disappointment, they made 13 threes in the first half, which is just like, in college, you're like, what the hell? And we were just out of it immediately.
I drove to Lawrence. I was super excited. I was ready to storm ass.
Yeah.
And it just immediately knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
During the game, one of my friends, we were at a bar called Rick's in Lawrence. So my friend, there was a Bill Spear, and it was like all messy, like on by the table. And he asked employee to clean it up, and the employee decided just to throw the rag at him and tell him to clean it up himself. And so his response was to pick the rag up and chuck it back at the employee, but hit some random girl like in the face, like on the way back.
Was it wet?
Yeah, it was a dirty rag that.
I mean, that is pretty. Yeah,
we were all pretty pissed, like because like the whole game wasn't going well.
Huh? Did he get kicked out?
No, he didn't get kicked out because that dude threw a rag at him. What was he gonna do?
Well, how much do you just miss sports? I'm dying, man. We're watching old games. We already know what happened. Have you watched any of the NASCAR doing the like virtual racing. Have you seen that?
No, I'm not watching that. I'm not a
Well,
redhead.
it's like a racing sim, so it's like, hey Nick, it's the only live sport that's
I'm not
on
gonna
right
watch
now.
it. Are you gonna
Okay.
watch the 2K tournament with NBA players?
I want to see KD just demoralize people though. That'd be fun. He's the number one.
Just with himself.
Yeah,
All right, you got number 5.
I do. I'm gonna go with 2011 at VCU
Oof.
in the Elite Eight. This is another. I mean, VCU was an 11 seed. I believe we were 1 seed.
So I
We went
was
35-3.
woo. First of all, we had Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager as the sideline.
Weird.
That's legendary. Looking back on this, I see why we lost this game. We started at the wings, Brady Morningstar and Tyrell Reed, who were both 6'4", wings, white.
White. The thing about Reed and Morningstar, it's like during the year they were like dead eye. They were so good.
Oh, yeah,
like,
they were.
Their role, and then like all of a sudden, the thing that made this loss worse the year before was Northern Iowa. So now we're into the Elite Eight. You know, we're playing another high seed, and we're like, all right, it's not going to happen again to us.
The Tyshawn was a younger point guard playing with 2 guys who couldn't create their own shots.
No.
And then the Morrises, who were really good, but like a certain point, you need a wing guard who's going to go out there and get a bucket. So I think the Final Four was 11 seed Butler versus VCU.
It was actually yes, it was. It was 8 seed Butler versus 11 VCU. That's what made it hurt even worse because we were easily the best team left in the tournament, and we just lose to VCU.
Let's go.
Now, is it more heartbreaking to lose in the first round, or is it worse to get all the way to the Sweet 16 and lose, or the Elite Eight and lose? What do you think?
It depends. First weekend losses especially suck. For me, at least, like I can't really enjoy the tournament if I know like my team's out.
Even though we did just say that, I'm going to put Bucknell at 4 because I was young. I think the other 3 hurt worse.
So it's the second Bill Self season. Kevin Benincourt, he put up 19 points. He scored 5 threes. Chucking. They had this dude named Chris Manaten from Lutherhausen, Germany. He put up 14 points, including the game winner. Another guy who random dude scored 19 on us, Charles Lee. I clicked on him on ESPN, and what came up said no information available.
This is sad for me and like Alex because this is the last game for like those crop of seniors that we got into KU basketball, like Wayne Simeon and Aaron Miles and Keith Langford. So that was an unceremonious exit.
Keith Langford didn't start because of an intestinal flu and ankle injury at the same time. I don't know if they're related, but Wayne Simeon is like a freak. I didn't realize how good he was, but man, we didn't have any depth. Like KCK native Jeff Hawkins. What's up?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He had in 11 minutes 3 points and a turnover. With like less than a minute left, we were down 3. But there was a technical. We got 2 shots, the ball back, and I think we got fouled and hit both free throws.
Yeah.
So then we were up 1. And then Michael Lee, there's a very good cut at the end of the game right before the technical happens of him with the towel over his head just looking like distraught. And the announcer's like, oh, look at that face of defeat. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a Wayne Simeon almost game winner that like it was like kind of Christian Laettner. They just front rimmed it. This was like the peak Bill Self like freaking out. And like Bill Self just like going like boxing one out of nowhere. Whenever we lose to these like lower seeds, like it seems to be like Bill Self just immediately like deviating from the game plan. And
it also seemed like in recent years that since that happens, he doesn't adjust. Now he just keeps trying the same thing over and over again. And sometimes it works and a lot of the times it doesn't, you know.
Yeah. You can see the nervousness on his face and then like it just translates immediately to the players.
Well, should we move on to the top 3, I suppose?
Let's do it. Michigan. I believe it was Trey Burke who hit just an incredible shot with like 8 seconds.
For some reason, I remember 2013 like vividly, like the whole year, not just KU. I was in Joplin, Missouri. I had an old girlfriend.
With the Knicks?
And we didn't watch the game.
Are you serious?
Because I was like, oh, we're going to win. Fuck it. Like, she probably doesn't want to watch it, you know. This is 2013. 2020, Vince would be like, get out of here. I'm watching the game.
You're leaving.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it, and then I woke up, and I didn't even know we lost. Number 2 is 2016 to Villanova because of this.
Really?
So 2016 we had a great year. This is the senior year of Frank Mason, Wayne Selden, Perry Ellis.
You know who sucks in tournament games? Wayne Selden.
Yeah.
Who also never made a Final Four? Perry Ellis.
And then 2016, see, this is before the world ended in 2016, so everything was still going pretty well. And then the later months of 2016 crept in, like November.
And then they got weird.
Don't you sometimes wish the election went the other way?
Let's go to number one. It has to be number one for me.
Yeah.
And especially when you're the number one overall seed, because those Bradley and Bucknell losses were 3 seeds and 4 seeds. We had
2008,
Sharon
yeah.
Collins, who I think was the first team All-American that year,
Mm-hmm.
who, by the way, shot us out of that game.
So it was kind of a weird team, but it was a fucking good team, really. I mean, it had a great combination of youth and experience. And
I saw Google Northern Iowa versus Kansas 2010. In the Wikipedia profile for Ali Frukmanesh, it was like the third result. And I looked it up. He only scored 16 points in this game.
it seemed like he scored 100.
Ali.
Ali his middle name is Frederick.
Ali Frederick. You know who killed us? His name was Eagle Stetcher. Kevin Harlan said during the broadcast, game of his life. Another quote, the first 3 he's hit all year. The first 3 he's hit all year.
Who did Northern Iowa lose to?
I don't even care. But anyways, that's a pretty good top 10 list of losses. They're just reliving that hurt me right now. This was good. Thank you for listening and watching, however you're doing this. See y'all next time. Say bye to the folks.
Goodbye, folks. It was great to see you.
All right, bro. I'll see you later.
All right, man.